Okay. So let's get into a little more personal stuff, like the three of us. Why? Because we're a team, right? This podcast can't happen without the three of us, or it could, but it wouldn't be as good. Something would be missing. And there's a lot of projects that the three of us work on together. A lot. We collaborate a lot. Why do you think the three of us make, and this is a hard question, I don't know if you knew I was going to ask this, but why do you think the three of us make such a good team? Olivia, you're up first.
I think it's just because we get along.
Yeah.
We get along. And also, I feel, well, at least with like Willow, there's some things that I prefer not to do, but she enjoys doing it. And then some things that she prefers not to do, and I enjoy doing it.
Isn't that great when that just happens to work out like that? Yeah. That's like me and Kat, like around the house. There's some things like I do not like doing, like cooking and paying the bills and doing that stuff. Kat does all that, but she hates yard work and ironing and laundry, and I love that stuff. So same kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's also nice to be able to like have someone to bounce ideas off of. Like, I feel like you guys both are really good at being creative with the ideas. So like I'm able to like say something that I might not have an idea for, but you guys have like a direction that you think it might go really well in.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have like a team, especially because I came from somewhere where I was the only one doing like the creative work. So I didn't have anyone to bounce those ideas off of. Here I have two people
to bounce it off. Yeah.
Even more. I mean, like with Kat and Sarah and Katrina, everybody else, like it's nice to have that.
It's super nice. I've always been a team player and preferred to be in a collaboration with a team. I don't prefer, even when it comes to training classes or collaborating out there on like projects or products or things like that, I prefer to do a collab than doing something solo. I will do solo things, but I prefer being part of a team for sure, just for that reason. I think when, the three of us, you're right, we're just able, like you might have an initial idea and put it out there, and then you add to it, then I add to it, and then the end result ends up being something maybe none of us could imagine or have done singly because it took the three of us. Do you think it's true though that you can't have thin skin? You can't be sensitive because not every idea, because you have to start somewhere, right? There's a starting point when you're creating, and whoever's the first one to throw the first idea, you're putting it out there, and sometimes we're like, yeah, we love, that's great, and then sometimes we're like, yeah, and creators tend to be sensitive people, and so you can't. So I think you can't be sensitive either, because not the first idea you throw out all the time, like your two, like Willow, for your two team members are gonna like, and it's almost like you got to start from scratch. Not usually, no. Usually there's elements of it, yeah, we love, and you just build off that. But every now and then, sometimes you throw something out there and you got to start from scratch. You're like, oh no, that's way off, girl.
Yeah. I think that
do you ever get your feelings hurt?
I think that like it's not really like my feelings get hurt. It's more just like, okay, I understand where they're coming from. I wish they didn't say that because now it's more work and we have to figure out something better. But it's usually for like it's for the betterment of the project. I think that like for being like a creative, it's not so much like having like thick skin. It's more just like being able to take that criticism as what it is, which is constructive to make the project better.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not like coming at me like and like saying it against my character. You're just saying it about the product or the project so that it can be the best that it can be.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like kind of like taking yourself out of the equation. It's about the project.
It's about the project and getting that project, whatever it may be, the best it can be. And that takes critiquing and, and all that stuff. I mean, you know where I'm going, Olivia.
Sorry,
you almost laughed. You caught yourself though, just because you're on the podcast. Yeah, use your Canva flyers at
Yeah, they were
first.
terrible.
Oh my lordy. Yeah. And it's and I'll tell you, being the critique, I think it's hard on both ends. Being critiqued for something you put like your heart and soul in and you think it's good, because you don't give me anything you don't think is good, Olivia. And vice versa, Willow. When you're ready to present, throw something out there, you think it's pretty good or a good start.
Mhm.
Same with me. When I present something to you guys, I think it's pretty good, a pretty good start, or I wouldn't present it. So I think and I know that about you guys. So as hard as it is being critiqued and having your team members be like, you didn't quite hit it, it's also really hard being the critiquer, being the one to say, nah, yeah, because I worry about hurting you guys' feelings, because I'm sensitive that way. So yeah, you never want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I think there's like a right way to critique and let you know that's not quite right, versus like there's a sensitive way to say it and an insensitive way to say it. But however you say it, it has to be said because we're trying to get to the end project, and it has to be pleasing to all three of us. Like, it has to be pleasing to you, Willow, to you, Olivia, and me. All three of us have to be like, yeah, that's it. And I think when all three of us are like, yeah, that's good. And sometimes we even bring Kat into it, right? So I think a big part of a team is not micromanaging, right? Which is hard for a lot of team leaders or company leaders to do. But I don't like to micromanage. I don't micromanage. Both of you have been micromanaged at previous jobs, and you both have expressed like how that made you feel. We talked about that a little bit yesterday, preparing for today, and I think I always looked at micromanaging as it would be, because I was micromanaged at a job one time many years ago, and it was really super annoying to me. Like, it made me like not really care for my boss too much. And it was a long time ago, so I'm not really close to those emotions and feelings anymore. There's been so many years between them, so it's a little bit hard for me to resonate with all the exact emotions I may have felt. I just remember feeling like it annoyed the crap out of me, and it made me not like her. So and both of you have been micromanaged. So how did it make you feel? And I think this is important, like for anybody listening that's going to be opening up their own studio, developing a team of artists or staff, or going into collaborations, this thing called micromanaging.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So for me, it personally made me feel like really stressed out. Like, there was always just like a time limit for every single project. And it would just put a lot of pressure on me to perform, and like get a project completed to their satisfactory, and also something that I was proud of putting out, which can be difficult when there's a time limit to be creative. Like, you don't have access to all of those creative juices immediately. Sometimes it takes time.
Yeah.
Well, for me personally, it was anxiety.
Anxiety.
Yeah, always the feeling of that I wasn't good enough because they were constantly micromanage me.
Really? So it made you feel like, that's deep, Olivia.
Yeah, like constantly feeling that I was going to be like fired.
Really? And that is not a good feeling.
No, it's
at
not.
all. That fucking sucks. It's like, like I said, like annoying, like I would imagine annoying, that's coming from like a controlling person. And I think maybe someone who micromanages, I think, did it also give you the feeling maybe they didn't trust you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I remember feeling like, I remember feeling like she was like super controlling, and it just annoyed me. I don't, like I said, I'm so far away from it now. I don't remember if it made me feel like I was going to be fired, or if I wasn't good enough. Because that's pretty deep, for someone to make you feel like that. The actions of a boss can make you feel stressed out, Willow, anxiety that you're not good enough and that you're going to be fired. That's deep. So and I think it's profound. And I think like just this last like few minutes, just this little conversation on micromanaging can be really, really helpful to anybody that's about to open up a studio or one day going to open up a studio, going to be a team leader or a boss and have, a staff or artists working under them, is not to micromanage. Like anybody I feel I had to micromanage, they're just don't belong on my particular team. They don't belong at Girlz Inc. They're just not the right fit. Because I hate micromanaging, probably because it almost feels like you're babysitting, and to be quite honest with you, I don't have time. I don't have time to micromanage anybody. And that's not to say that you don't periodically check in. You got to be in the loop, right? I like to be in the loop with you girls, every now and then I'm asking you what we got going on, but I check in, but I give you, absolute freedom, creative control, to kind of do your own thing, be super independent, to be leaders in your own department, in your own roles. And I think that's really healthy. I think that builds healthy relationships between leader and the team, right? Because there always has to be a leader. You want a strong leader. Someone's got to drive the train. And, that's the role I happen to play here. But, for me, you're nothing without a strong team, a strong, healthy team. I have always been under the philosophy, the bigger the dream, the more important the team. And you guys know me now. I have big dreams. I come in and I I have sleep issues and whatnot. I wake up at 3 a.m. to go tinkle, and and I start thinking. I come in and I vomit them out to you. I'm always like telling you guys ideas and stuff like that. So I dream big. I've always dreamed big, and had big goals and wanted to accomplish like big things in permanent makeup. So in order to be able to do that, you have to have a good, strong, healthy team. And in order to have a good, healthy, strong team, you got to have a great relationship with your team. So, and I think, giving them independence, allowing them to be leaders, giving them, control over, certain things. I think it's really important, and there'll always be people that take advantage of that. I've been lucky all these years, not that we haven't had, some things here and there over the last, 12 years, but with you guys, I think what makes us a good team is, you guys are just really super hardworking. And I feel like my dream is your dream. Is that corny? I mean, it's kind of corny, but do you know what I mean? I don't mean like all my dreams, but like the Girlz Inc. dream, what we're trying to do with Girlz Inc., what we're trying to accomplish within Girlz Inc., like what I want for Girlz Inc., what I want to do for the industry, how I want to teach and mentor and leave the industry in a better place than when I entered. All that is really important to me. And maybe it's not true, but you guys make me feel like that's important to you too. If it's important to me, it's important to you. That's how the both of you make me feel.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. I can tell. I can tell it's authentic and it's real. I can tell it's not bullshit and fake, and I can tell it's real with you guys. And that gives me, an easy, peaceful feeling. It just does. So, and it's wonderful to work with people that share your desire to do good things, when you're on kind of the same wavelength, when you're thinking, when you're in alignment with what the goal is. Yeah, I love that.